Kapow.
While details on Lydia are fairly sparse, we know one thing for certain. She was not a conformist. In a time when most people rarely ventured very far from where they were born, Lydia chose to settle not only in a different city, but an entirely different country, far removed from her family or any kind of support. Then there was the issue of her being an independent merchant, while simultaneously being a woman, which was generally frowned upon.
Hello, Claudius. How were sales today?
Well, not bad. Can't complain.
Good.
Lydia never let something so petty as social stigma stand in her way. She did what she felt called to do, and she did it exceptionally well.
Welcome home, madam.
Thank you, Geoffrey.
Lydia dealt primarily in purple cloth, an exceptionally rare and valuable commodity. It is believed that she would have travelled extensively across the region to sell it, as it was a very profitable enterprise. As an independent woman living in the 1st century, she had achieved more than most would have deemed possible. But despite all that she had, and all that she'd overcome, something was still lacking, though it was unclear what exactly that something was.
Yep. No idea.
As part of her quest to uncover this elusive something, Lydia began taking a vested interest in religion, and true to the spirit of her completely unconventional lifestyle, decided to become a worshipper of Yahweh, despite the fact that she was not a Jew.
Hey, look, Bart, it's that non-Jew Jew.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Hello?
In the city of Philippi, the Jewish population was so minuscule that there wasn't even a proper synagogue to worship in. So she and a small group of women had to worship by the river on the outskirts of town, something Lydia assuredly had a hand in organising.
Let us pray.
It was during one of these informal services that 2 missionaries arrived, the Apostle Paul and his associate Silas. Paul began sharing the message of Christ with them. Christianity was highly controversial. But when Lydia heard Paul's message, it pierced her very soul. She sensed an undeniable truth in his words. She knew that this was the something she'd been missing.
You know, I think this is what I've been missing.
And so while it was inadvisable at that time, in that region, for a successful single, independent, foreign female merchant Gentile worshipper of Yahweh to also become a Christian, she immediately converted and was baptized,
Christ,
along with her entire household. After this, Lydia invited Paul and Silas to stay at her home.
Oh, please.
Excuse me.
what I meant to say is, we appreciate the offer, but...
I insist.
No, now, I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, we have got to... May I take your sandals, sir?
Let me show you to your rooms.
Robert?
It quickly became apparent to Paul why Lydia was so successful, as her powers of persuasion seemed to border on the mystical. A short time after this, Paul and Silas were arrested, which was nothing new to them. In fact, Lydia's warm hospitality was a significant departure from their typical reception in most cities. As it turned out, Paul and Silas' imprisonment was cut short by a massive earthquake, which they both agreed was quite miraculous. Almost as miraculous as what they found when they returned to Lydia's home. Lydia had been busy transforming her home into what was the first house church on the continent of Europe. And this would be just the beginning. Lydia had found her calling. She now knew what to do with all that the Lord had given her. She began taking full advantage of her wealth, status, and social network to share her newfound faith and support fledgling congregations. And Lydia's faith in action may very well have also served as a model for Paul, as he went on to work with many other wealthy and powerful women who were key in establishing and sustaining communities of followers all across the map.